Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to match number 3, season 1 of the US PS2 Community Clash. We have brought together 16 of the top outfits across the world, 8 in the US, 8 in the EU, all battling it out for the exclusive in-game rewards and PlanetSide 2 community acclaim. My name is Deringer, and I will be your host this evening, along with a new old face for the US Community Clash. Hamma, welcome back to Community Clash, sir.
Thank you. Rumors of my demise are greatly exaggerated.
Excellent, excellent. Tonight we have an exciting match prepared for you folks on Indar. So without further ado, let's introduce our fantastic outfits for tonight's fight. First off, on my left, just on the other side of Hamma here, representing Connery, dropping Purple Smoke's commander, V. Shepard. V. Shepard, how are you this evening, sir?
Very good, sir.
Welcome back to Community Clash. This is not your first foray into this, but why don't you give us a quick reminder who DPSO is and what you guys are going to do this evening?
Well, DPSO is mostly ground pounder outfit based on the Connery server. We pride ourselves in accepting all members and bringing them up to speed on the game, easing them into PlanetSide. Also, we try to do everything from letting everybody run in public platoons to actually do these kind of things like community clashes and competitive gameplay. So we try to be open for all.
And we love you for it. Full disclosure, I actually am a member of Dropping Purple Smoke and play with these guys every week. But enough about me. Last time we saw DPSO on Community Clash, you guys faced a really uphill battle against Nuck on the Nexus. What did you guys learn from that battle that you think will help you in tonight's match?
Well, we learned that we were basically a ground pounder outfit, as I stated, and ever since then we've been working double time to actually get some pilots up to speed. So tonight that will be the first foray of DPSO Air Squad into the competitive arena. God bless us.
God bless us all indeed. Since this is a mirror match this evening, what faction have you guys picked for your second faction to play in the second half this evening?
Well, we might need every advantage that we can get, so we are planning to pick the NC for their close quarter power.
Excellent, excellent. All right, on my right, representing the Matherson server is DasAnfall's commander, Indar. Indar, how are you this evening?
Not too bad, Deringer. I'm doing pretty good.
As I said for DPSO, welcome back to Community Clash as well. Why don't you tell us a little bit about DasAnfall for our newer viewers?
DasAnfall is an outfit I kind of made just for some close friends back in PS1, and we kind of carried through, and then created it in PS2 and kind of just been building it since then. We definitely stay on the smaller side, but I think it's a lot more fun that people in our group kind of know what they're doing and can expect their teammates to, like, I guess they can just expect their teammates to be competent is an easy way to say it.
I've played with you guys a lot, and you are absolutely right when you say you're one of the smaller outfits that do some of those tactics. Now, so far, all the other Matherson outfits that we've seen have used very similar strategies. Can we expect some of the same tactics from DasAnfall tonight?
I mean, Howling Pass is such a hard base to take that we've got a couple of creative things that I don't think anybody's really seen yet. We'll see what happens.
As we said with DPSO, this is a mirror match this evening of two Vanu Sovereignty outfits, and I see you have chosen NC as your second faction as well. Any specific reason?
We've actually had an NC outfit probably since month 4 or 5. We like to play most of the factions just to kind of feel what the other guns are like and know what you're going up against. So we've actually played this for quite a while, and the NC definitely have a clear advantage in CQC.
All right. I want to thank you both for coming on Community Clash tonight. I'm going to let you both get back to your outfits and begin your preparation for tonight's match. We will see you both in a little while, and good luck this evening.
Thank you much.
Sir. Have fun casting.
All right. Now that they have both moved on, we want to do a quick rundown of some of the rules for this evening's match. And if you look on our stream as well, we're going to bring up the overlay of those rules. As always, you can go to ps2comclash.com to get your rules for this evening event. But primarily, each match will consist of two 45-minute halves. Each team consists of 24 players. The team at the end of both halves with the most points wins. If the two teams tie, then we will have a death match to decide the victor. Capturing single point bases, as always, award 2 points. Capturing 3-point bases awards the capturing team 3 points. And finally, capturing the opposing team's home base will reward the capturing team 5 points and ends the half regardless of how much time is left in the half. At this point, I'm going to bring in our two casters this evening, Torkz and Luperza, and we're going to do a little talk about the lane on Indar this evening. Torkz, Luperza, how are you both this evening?
Yeah, doing good.
I am amped up for a good fight tonight.
Yeah, this will be interesting since we have 2 main Vanu outfits going to be on tonight.
As I said, these are 2 outfits that I play with often, so I'm interested to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great fight. Let's knock out this lane real quick so the viewers that are first time joining us can know what the fight lane is tonight. So starting off with the first part of the bracket, qualifiers, if you want to call them that, we have the Indar lane, and that's what the two teams are fighting on tonight. The Indar lane starts with Rashnu Biolab as the first team's home base, then going on to Rashnu Watchtower. After Rashnu Watchtower, we have NS Material Storage, then Howling Pass, the neutral base at the start of the half, and then Abandoned NS Offices, Mao Southeast Gate, and Mao Tech to end the lane. Hope everybody enjoys the fight. Indar lane will not be in Season 2. Alrighty. How you doing tonight, Luperza, by the way?
I'm doing good. This is going to be a long day of live streaming for me.
Oh, yeah? What'd you stream earlier?
I was on the EverQuest Next Landmark stream. It was exciting. Got to talk a lot about EverQuest and EverQuest 2 and all the things that are going on with that franchise. But tonight,
all right, everybody.
Tonight we are going to be doing some awesome PlanetSide 2 action. Should I start up the round?
Absolutely. Let's kick off the 2-minute, and while we're counting down the 2 minutes for the 2 outfits to start the half, we're going to go over the bracket for the U.S. side for you guys. For those of you guys that don't know, Community Clash is a 24v24 competitive event, whatever you want to call it. We have had several matches already go down. Storm Grenadier versus Jank Squad Alpha. Storm Grenadier came out winning that. No Nonsense Gamers and TRG faced off. No Nonsense Gamers or NNG won out on that. Tonight we are doing Dropping Purple Smoke versus DasAnfall, as you see on the bracket. Next week we have Future Crew versus Total Recoil. After all these matches and all the EU matches, we're going to have US versus EU. That'll be towards the end of April. We hope everybody will tune into that and enjoy it.
Oh, it's going to be so good. It's going to be glorious. I can't wait for that match.
I'm looking forward to all of the enjoyment between Klyka and everyone else. Our entire team's going to get together for one good show, and I can't wait to see that. So,
yeah, it'll be pretty exciting.
Alrighty. That being said, we're going to pop to the cams real quick and show you guys what's starting and how the things are going to kick off. As you see now, the normal loadout, the normal kind of start for the matches is we usually have 2 gals. Both teams start with 1 gal, and they start in their own home base hex. They can't load into the vehicle until the beginning of the half, but normally we see it's a pretty common opener. They load up as many people as they can get into the gal, then they either pull ESFs, normally ESFs, to load in, and then they'll get to Howling Pass as fast as they can. We see a combination openers that break in after that. Usually you see a hack and Sundays coming out, or you see a multitude of different things, a lot of suicide ESFs. So we'll see what happens. Any projections on how you think this match is going to open out, Maggie?
I'm guessing there's going to be air.
Thank you. That's probably very true.
Everyone always starts out with air, and I think that's what we're going to see again.
You got to get to that base as fast as possible, right?
Yes.
You don't get to the base, you're behind. You don't want to be behind. You don't want to have Sunday set up in front of you and have no way to spawn, because the base in the middle of this lane, guys, is neutral when the half starts. It starts and you have nowhere to spawn. You're kind of screwed. So that's usually the way it goes. 30 seconds till we start, guys. We get this going. 10 seconds.
You're a little behind.
5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And here we go. We're lifting off. You see the Galaxy being loaded up on both sides. Normal opening, as we said. Oh, we see a lib this time. Not just ESFs. So we have a gal and a lib from the DPSO side. And we see from DA just a normal gal pull. A couple of ESS after that. They're going down the normal lane. They're going to And that's material storage?
And this is to be expected. We've seen this a lot. Over and over again, we see people grabbing galaxies. We see them grabbing air, and ESFs, and that's what we're seeing tonight.
Oh boy, here they go. They're already getting the drops off. There's a little bit of dogfighting between the two gals. The Liberator from DPSO is hammering the other gal. Oh, and there they go. They got the drop on A. DA is on the point. They have A locked down pretty solidly. You see consistent air hammering from DA on top of DPSO. Their gal's not going to last long. At least I'm not going to imagine. They have the squad beacon up, and they have C locked down. Oh boy.
It could last a while, and we've seen some amazing things being done with galaxies in general. A lot of people have been using it for defense to help out, and I hope we see more of that as we move further into the season.
Absolutely. Looks like they both have a point each, and then the last point is still neutral. No one's pushing to B yet. DA, it looks like they're trying to make a foot push, and DPSO, sorry, I apologize. DA is going to jump off the pad, try to get down to B with a couple LAs, but DPSO is moving foot zerg from C to B. Still neutral on both sides. Not as much movement as I expected. DPSO is locking down C room like no tomorrow. I guess they're expecting a push from DA at this point. Playing a little defensive. I don't know if defensive is going to do you much good, though. This is the most stalemated beginning of a match I've ever seen.
For sure. Usually we see a massive push here from either one side or the other. I mean, we're seeing, at least we're getting some Sunderers placed in here. That's going to provide a little bit more spawns. That will hopefully make this fight a little bit more back and forth. I mean, who's grabbing B right now?
Looks like DA is. DA has a couple
Alright,
guys
awesome.
on B, so they're going to have a 2-to-1 advantage. It's a long countdown if you're only going to hold the 2. I'm wondering how long it's going to be before they're moving on C. DA is using their air advantage to kind of hammer on C, but they haven't got the squad beacon yet. They have the Galaxy down on top, so DPSO does not have a spawn currently anywhere near Howling Pass at the moment. I haven't seen any Sundays hacked out yet. That's another surprise for tonight's match.
I know there's one Sunday that's already out. It's in the tower. We're not seeing it on the camera right now, but for a moment I saw it there. I believe the DA crew has one.
Okay, so they do have a spawn.
Yeah.
DPSO is kind of lacking their spawn except for the squad beacon. That squad beacon countdown or cooldown is not going to be enough to really keep a consistent flow. They're going to have to get something else over here. And DA is...
we got another one. There we go. We got some, if we move to Kai's cam, well, it just went off there. But for a moment there, we did see that they have a Sunder as well on the DPSO side.
2 points to 1 still. C is still being opened up. 22 minutes left in the match at the beginning. It's still...
Do we see
DA's,
team?
DA's trying to make a push
there?
for the stairs. They have the NG turrets up. The Max got through and cleared out the NG really quickly. DA's doing what they normally do. They're pushing up the stairs. Doesn't look like oh, yeah.
We're seeing some great work
DPSO's
here. You know, you have the medics that are staying back. They're reviving these guys and pushing forward. I think that they're going to be able to push forward here if they continually have the pressure.
Smoke, smoke, smoke. Here we go. And it begins. C is still being held by DPSO. They're using their maxes to get ready advantage on top of those stairs. DA has not been able to break the stairs yet. Revive grenades going all over C, getting up the guys that DA was able to pick off when they did their last push. But not breaking stairs yet. I'm wondering if they're waiting to mass up and then hit both stairs at the same time. DA seems like they're DA is still sitting on the first floor. DPSO is sitting upstairs, just kind of just peppering. They're trading shots back and forth. No major defense from either side. Doesn't look like DPSO is really trying to push downstairs to really push him out. They're trying to play defensive. They're going to hold this space as long as they can.
Yeah, I mean, they're not super set up in a defensive way. I mean, they don't have their turrets. I mean, they have a couple, like one turret laid down, and they're kind of just moving around. They're checking all the corners. We got DA over here with their Galaxy as well, trying to put some pressure on them through the wall. That's pretty awesome.
Love that battle gal with that bulldog. Just pounding C. No wonder they're having to get some of your revive grenades out. Yeah. DPSO is just getting hammered by this bulldog.
But DPSO is being smart. They're realizing that they're getting hit there, so they're moving around the sides of it, and they're like, sure, keep firing in here. You're still not going to get the point.
Yeah, they're just keeping up. They're holding on the other side, away from that door, which seems to make sense to me, considering they're getting hammered by the bulldog.
But
Battle Gal's kind of dropping away.
Is that DA does have 2 points right now, so DPSO, if they're gonna hold this point, sure, that's gonna be great for them. But they're gonna need to put some pressure on these other bases, these other points. But the problem here is also that you need air. Like once whoever has air at Howling Pass kind of takes over the base, in my opinion. I think that's the one thing that you need to do. Once you have air coverage, and you have some spawns, It's yours.
DA is making a great push into C. They pulled out. They dropped the max. DPSO's losing people at an astounding rate. They dropped him from the ceiling. They came in both stairways from the ceiling and surprised the crap out of DPSO. They were expecting stairs from the bottom, and DA did not give them that. DA now has all 3 points firmly in hand. 5 minutes, 30 seconds left to count down. 39 minutes left in the half.
And what I will say, that was a great engagement for DA. They didn't just go through one place. They had some guys dropping from the top. They had some guys coming up from the bottom. They had some guys coming from the side where we saw that the Galaxy was, hitting them and peppering them in on the C point.
Looks like DPSO is dropping back on C. They're using that Sunder behind there to reinforce C. DA is holding them off. It's kind of cracking me up, though, that you saw DA. You saw their whole maneuver. They kind of prepped them at the bottom, DPSO moved all their guys to the 2 stairs from the bottom, looking down there, expecting the push to come from there. All of a sudden, you see a bunch of LAs coming from the top, and boom, C4 all over the place, and DPSO goes down. That was a great 1-2 punch. Good job, DA. Whoa. 38 minutes, 30 seconds left. They have all 3 points still. DPSO is not really able to take back in. Now that DA has secured C, they're holding it, and they're holding it well. 4 minutes, 40 seconds left on the cap. That would put 3 points on the board for DA if they do get this through. DPSO looks like they're going to use Sundays. They're going to make a ground game push. Interesting. That's going to be a long push to get down there, guys, and that's a very treacherous canyon to go through.
Yeah, but they need some spawns, so I think that is their main goal right now. So they're grabbing as many Sunders as they can. They're like, one of them has to make it.
Oh, and DA, they're known for their air game since they've paired up with Crimea Reaver.
They got all these Reavers and Liberators, yeah.
You see the Libs and the Reavers already doing work. And they're just hammering those Sundays they're pulling out. But you see, 5 Sundays out and a Skyguard? I'm wondering how long it's going to be before DPSO realizes that they're going to have a major air problem. They're going to pull some anti-air. You see those Sundays firing back, but they're not really making concerted anti-air push.
Yeah, and I'm loving this pressure that DA is putting on DPSO. They already know they've got Howling Pass pretty much on lockdown. The major thing that they need to do is just keep
baby,
the pressure.
drive that road. Oh, no. That's not going to work, buddy. You're done.
Your goal is to not let the enemy kill you, but also don't kill yourself.
That driver was drunk. That's what happens when you drink. Oh, no. Their Sundays are just getting obliterated one after another after another.
And like you said, this is just a death canyon. Going down this hill is not the smartest idea, especially when you already know DA's got the air coverage. They're spotting you. They know where you're at. You're going to have to come up with some more, unconventional ways, I would say.
DA, like I said before, DA is known for their air after they paired up with Crimea Reaver, and they're showing it. Crimea Reaver's got some great pilots. We've known that. We've seen them all around different servers. They play all factions. They know their air, and they're showing it tonight. DPSO is putting up a hell of a fight, and they're putting out a great show. I like their drivers so far. Their drivers are making me laugh. I'm enjoying that. But DPSO, they're going to have a hard time getting through this canyon. I would not try to do a ground push here. That is not the best way to approach this.
Yeah, and the ground push is not... I mean, they got like 1 lightning supporting their Sunders. That's not going to be the most helpful.
More
got
Sunders. I got an answer for you. More Sunders. More Sunders.
Are those Sky Guards that they have? Because that could actually be helpful for them.
I do see 3 Skyguards up currently and 2 Sundays, and that Sunday almost flipped again. I think it's the same driver. I bet you it's the same driver. We have a Sunday set up.
To set up his Sunder a little bit better so he can drive it properly.
So you see the Sunder set up on the outside. I think it's a Chuck Norris Sunder. For those of you who don't know, that's 2 Rangers on top of a Sunder. Anyways, so you have a couple Skyguards set up as well along the road. I think they're just getting ready for their defense. I don't think they're really going to try to re-secure Howling Pass. They're going to let DA get those 3 points on the board, and they're going to put a hell of a fight up when they try to get moved to 10S material storage. I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm not really seeing much of a push.
They're definitely putting up some defenses. They've already got some Sunders spawned for themselves. I don't know what they're going to do with those exactly. But if DPSO wants to come back from this, they're going to need to put some major pressure on these guys. I don't know if the Sunder push is really going to be working for them, because they just keep one after another losing these Sunders. That's a lot of resources as well.
Oh my goodness.
And once they get down there, they're blocked by that gate. So I'm just like, oh, what's the plan here? What was the plan? I don't understand where they were going with this.
All right, 1 minute 15 seconds left on Howling Pass cap. 34 minutes left, or 34 minutes 50 seconds left in the half. DPSO is obviously setting up for a good defense. I'm really hoping that DA does a ground push, even though it'd be absolutely suicidal at this point. But I would love to see him do a ground push.
I don't think they're going to. They're known for their air. They're utilizing it already. It's proper. I mean, it's working for them, and they're doing it properly. So I think it's going to they're going to continue going with that. But I will say, I would love to see DPSO do some more offensive pushes. They could have dropped their squad leaders down, put some squad beacons down.
Oh, here comes another unfortunate Sunday.
Oh,
another suicide Sunday going by himself. He's like, I got this. I'm by myself. No worries.
What is with this too? Why are they going one at a time by themselves? And he's just gone.
And he's obliterated. He just disappears.
What
into
even killed him?
flames.
Like 1 second, he was dead.
Oh my! I don't know. I think the lib. All I saw was I didn't see him smoking, and he went from smoking to not even smoking to dead instantaneously. So I'm guessing the lib must have just put the pain down on him.
We got some lead assaults. Dropping out of their reavers, trying to make a push onto the space.
Couple suicide push. Looks like DPSO is kind of waiting for the ground game. They're kind of separating. They're spreading their guys out all across the base. There's a nice suicide DSF.
I think our chat is already playing a drinking game with all the suicides.
Oh no! I want to see more smoke. This whole base needs to be covered in smoke.
Oh, I don't want to see that because then I won't be able to tell what's going on. Come on, Torkz.
DPSO is setting up. They're spreading their guys around. I think they're waiting for the push, wherever it may come from. I'm assuming air. I'm only assuming air, and that's I think I'll be right. And we have what 30 seconds left on the cap. 1 second. Let's get a cam back to Howling Pass and see what our cap looks like. You see that?
Oh, the Galaxy's he's peeking over there, but there's a lot of anti-air, so I don't know if that's gonna be the best move for him. He's smoking. I don't know if he's gonna get away.
He's getting hit. Yeah, they set up a bunch of anti-air.
They dropped some guys too.
Get that C4. Get that C4 on there. No, he got picked off. So it looks like Howling Pass is now in DA's hands. That puts 3 points on the board for DA. That's 3-0 in DA favor versus DPSO at the moment. 32 minutes left in the half. And we're moving on to NS Material Storage, guys. That's where the next fight begins.
Yeah, and I hope that we see. I mean, I'm really hoping that DPSO just doesn't take the defensive route. I hope that I hope that once they get these pushes from DA, that they use that advantage where they're like, okay, all the DA guys are here. Let's kind of go back to Howling Pass and do some back hacks. I'd love to see that from them. That would be a cool strategy. We've seen it work in the past, but they do have to commit to it if they're going to do that. I don't know if we saw some pretty interesting defenses in the past here, so I think that they could hold here and just hold for the rest of the round and only be at a disadvantage with 3 points starting in round 2. That's another option.
See a little sparring going on back and forth across the back stairs of NS Material Storage. We see another gal coming up from DA. It's trying. I'm assuming it's trying to hail strike those sky guards and that Chuck Norris Sunday. But I'm not saying, oh, DA is actually pushing up with a Sunday of their own. They're setting up right outside. For those of you who don't know, when you're assaulting NS Material Storage, there's a nice little, I don't even know if I'm call it a path as much as it is kind of a walking area between the two.
Death Canyon.
Yeah. So you can kind of walk through, you can kind of see it on the screen now. There's a somewhat of a path up where you can actually take ground forces. And they're setting up their Sunday a little bit away from it, but it looks like DPSO was already waiting for it. They knew it was there. They're hammering it. They have S1s or whatever they're using for rocket launchers hitting it. Looks like they're going to take it down.
And it's going to take it down. So, again, bad placement of Sunders. Like, this canyon is the worst, and we've seen it so many times over and over again, trying to pull ground over here. Like, yes, you got to take some paths to get your Sunderers there, but don't just leave them in the canyon. Put them up behind them, surround them. Don't leave it down in the canyon like that, because they have the high ground. They're just able to go down there and shoot it, and it's gone.
My goodness, looks like DA is dropping guys right and left all over the base. They're taking reavers, they're taking libs, and they're just driving people. They have squad beacons up, so they're coming all over the place. These 3 drop pods right and left coming out of this guy. Smoke, smoke, smoke. All right, here we go. Then DA has the point. It's being flipped back now. It's neutral. DPSO is putting up a great fight at the beginning from the double stack across from it. DA is using the roof across from it as a great firing point down on DPSO.
That's the perfect thing that you should be doing. I mean, the point is right down there in the middle of it, and if you can get the high ground, you can see them coming from their spawn. You know exactly where they're going. I mean, if you're using your infiltrator spots, recon devices, you're able to see what's going on around you as well on the mini-map. It's just a perfect thing to do if you can get some light assaults up there as well. That way you're not stuck up top.
Yeah, DPSO is trying to get some LAs up there. The one or two that we saw go up were cleared out. The squad beacon for DA is still up. DA is dropping guys right and left all over the place. The point is back in DA favor, but it's flipping back and forth pretty continuously. We just have, it's basically just all-out pandemonium all over this base. There's fighting across by the spawn point. There's fighting on this single stack over here. No real single point of entry from DA on either side. The one Sunder they had, as you saw, was wiped out. Now they're just using squad beacons, which, you know, it's a good alternative.
Yeah, and it's a good alternative until you get your Sunderers in that location as well. But DPSO has to make a push for A. They need to push DA out of this base because they're falling behind. You know, you're 3-0. You got to make some plays.
Yep, looks like DA has the point now. They're capping it down 3 minutes to cap on NS material storage, 29 and a half. This half's going fast, man. And DA is just their ground forces are doing a great job. They're coming in and you see them stay up for long periods of time. They're wiping out DPSOs as they come out. They're not really trading. They're doing 2-for-1s, 1-for-3s. They're doing a great job.
And they're able to you know, suppress them and push them back. But I'm a little worried for DPSO folk here. I'm hoping that they can make an offensive push onto Howling Pass as well. I hope that they don't get trapped here. Is what I'm hoping.
We saw a pretty long defense fight on this last week, and it was good. TRG made a hell of a defense off this base, and we're seeing DPSO kind of getting pushed back to their spawn room pretty soon. As soon as DA actually got their air superiority here and was able to wipe out the couple Skygars that they had and the one Sunder, they have pretty much had superiority. They're still getting some anti-air around, but their guys are just locking down without air. Once they were able to get the squad beacons up, they were able to do it, just take it on foot.
Oh, totally. And you know, I think that DPSO can totally do what TRG did. You know, just hold back, defend, and I think that that's something that they can definitely make happen. But I would like to see them do a massive push onto Howling Pass. Like, I would just love to see them make a play for that. And I don't know if we're going to see that in this round exactly. What are you feeling? Are you feeling like they might be able to?
DPSO is taking the point back. It's going back in their favor. And DA was wiped off the point by a pretty aggressive DPSO push. DPSO still has anti-air all along the ledge of the outside.
And
you see DA chasing
Thunders, man.
You see DA chasing their Skygars all around with light assaults. So it looks like DA is using some Sunders again. They're trying to get up here with Sunders, and they're having a Lightning Sunder fight. I am wondering, the Skyguard versus Sunder. This is not going to work out for the Lightning. And the Lightning. Yeah,
the Lightning was not. It was kind of adorable because you had these two Sunderers just driving along, and they're like, "Oh, you're hitting me? That's nice."
It's kind of David and Goliath, except for Goliath just headbutted David.
But you gotta give it to the Lightning driver. He was dedicated. He was like, "No, I'm doing this."
Refused to give up ground to a Sunder with a Basilisk, even though that's usually probably a good idea.
2 Sunders, not just one. And so we got some scrimmages going here over at the A point. Couple grenades being shot out here and there.
DPSO is still holding the point pretty well, and they're fighting from the double stack, but DA is pinning them in that double stack door. You see grenades going right and left. They're using a battle gal. You can't see it from the screen currently now, but it's getting bulldog one after another on top of that point. And they're back in the air. They have their air superiority back, and you see the Reavers just all over the place. DPSO is still able to take back the point and hold it. And, it's about to count down for DA. I apologize. I was the wrong way around. DA is about to take it.
Yeah, and they've got Sunderers all around.
That's 2 more points on the board for DA. So it's 5-0 in DA favor now. And we're getting close to that home base. I'm wondering if they're going to have better luck in the Biolab.
So we have Rash New Watchtower, which is going to be an interesting fight because you're going to go over there and you're going to see this huge high ground that these guys have. But also, the thing to note at this next base is that the A point is separated from where they spawn. It's going to be a little bit harder to defend.
The worst part about this base for defenders is the fact that it's off the tower. Your spawn point is nowhere near the point. And the defenders, once they're inside that double stack, they can lock it down defensively, and coming out of the tower is not very advantageous for the defenders. I'm guessing this flip is going to go pretty quickly. And DA is already softening them up with air. You see that lib, you see a couple Reavers over there. They're trying to get Scythe in the air, but as soon as the Scythe came in the air, you saw that Reaver just pelt it and then fly away. DA already has a Sunder on the point.
And that's something we've seen consistently with DA, whether it's in this match or previous matches that we've watched. They're always ahead of the game, you know? Like, they know what their next step is. They already know that they're going to be putting pressure on something before it's even capped, and they're really good about that. And I think that that's something that they're doing perfectly in this round as well.
DA's not really letting up on them. They're using that air continuously just to kind of soften them up. DA's already on point. They're flipping. They're using those. Oh man, they're clearing up those stairs, and DPSO is really not having a good time at defending against them.
They're trying. They're doing their best. They were able to clear out some of the guys that were there in the initial drop, but we are seeing a massive air fight that's happening above the base, and I think that's going to determine what's going to happen at this base.
I would guess that the Scythe is not going to get the better end of this deal. I see an air hammer. Oh, I love that air hammer close up. Boom, and the Scythe's gone. Good job. I love seeing those. Very rarely do we get to see a cam on an air fight when it's condensed like that. Usually it's kind of a run and gun. You don't see them very often.
And DA's already bringing up some more Sunderers. They've been doing a fantastic job with continually making sure that their guys are provided with spawns, whether that's through spawn beacons or Sunderers, but they're always making sure they're up. If they lose one, they're bringing one back in. But they're not being silly about the way that they're bringing them in, and they're also providing them with some air cover or some distraction, which I think is very important and something that I hope we see more outfits do as we progress in the season.
As you see, our Battle Gal buddy, he's back. He's dropping. They have Sunderers as backup, but their main drop just came out for that gal after it dropped a couple bulldogs in the door just for friendly hello. And now that they're there, they're still not able to push in that door. DPSO is using that stairs to great effect with an engineered turret. Looks like they're going to come around the other side and try to flank from the northern door. DPSO still has plenty of guys on the point holding off DA.
What I want to see from DA and what I know I can get from DA is that massive push where they come through all the doors, because that's something that they do really well, and I think that they can do this again. Which right there, we thought.
The building's DA's, and I'm going to make a projection. It is not going to leave DA hands now that they have it. Now that DA has a spawn point.
They're so good at defending once they have something, even if they're on the offensive side. They just know where they need to be. They're really good about working, coordinating with one another, and I think that they're going to be able to hold this, as well as they're also keeping pressure away from the points, and that's something that we're constantly seeing through this round, is that once they have a point, they're not leaving all their guys there at the point to defend. They're pushing outside of those buildings, and they're putting pressure onto the enemy, whether that's at the next base or wherever they are within that base, defeating their Sunderers, etc.
To recap, it's a 5-0 on the board now in DA favor. DA is currently fighting over Rashnu Watchtower. That's the base right before the home base of DPSO in this half. 21 minutes left, 21 minutes 50 seconds left in the half. 5-0 in DA favor.
And if they are able to take Rashnu Biolab, that just flips, that makes them win this round. So I hope that we have a little bit more pressure coming out of the DPSO guys, especially in round 2. I think that this is going to be, I hope this doesn't demoralize them in that sense. Because we have seen that in the past where outfits get kind of like pushed back pretty far, and then it's rough to make that hurdle back. But we've also seen some really great comebacks.
Once teams have the momentum, it's kind of hard to stall them at that point. I mean, you can make up a good fight, and they did that in Innis Material Storage, but Innis Material Storage to this base is a horrible transition to try to fight against. If you don't have the building right off the bat and they leapfrog you, you're out of luck. It's pretty much done with.
But they could, I'm really upset with DPSO right now, because I feel like they could totally make a drop onto this A point, take it, get it back, at least resecure within the last couple minutes here. I'm concerned as to why they're not making any plays.
Instead, you see DA rolling with Maxes at the point. So yeah. DPSO, I'm assuming they're backing up to the Biolab. So I'm not seeing much of a DPSO presence here.
Yeah, why do we keep seeing them defend? I want to see them on the offensive side. In fights like this where you're 24v24, the offensive plays that you make are super important. Like, you need to be making those. You need to be dedicating some guys to putting the pressure on. Otherwise, you're going to keep falling back, and all you're going to be able to do is defend. And that's not fun. You want to take some bases. You want to get the points on the board.
I think DPSO is doing the best they can to hold the defense. DA is already setting up Sunders. Obviously, DPSO is not really fighting over the tower any longer. They already have Sunders next to the teleporter room. DA is prepping for a hell of an assault. Let's get a camera up to where the teleporter room is actually dumping out, because take it back. DPSO is dumping out a bunch of maxes off the tower. They're going to try to make a max push.
Oh,
to the
they're
point.
doing it. Yes, I want to see an offensive play. Let's have it.
Oh, here it comes. Oh, DA was not ready for this. They were not expecting DPSO to come back in that tower. Oh, the Battle Cow's doing work on that push. Oh, DPSO's dropping like flies.
Oh,
no.
That's rough. That's rough. Okay, DPSO, I'll give it to you for making a play. I know
They said they still have maxes on the point, though. They still have maxes on the point. They can get a softie with them. Looks like they do have a support. They have a support. They're flipping it back. They have the
I
maxes.
hope we see some revive grenades thrown out to those maxes. Get those maxes up. Get them back in the building. Get them safe. And hold this. Oh, man. I hope they make a comeback here because I would love to see it. We have DA bringing in some maxes as well of their own.
DA's coming back in with they didn't expect it, but now they're trying to counter it. DPSO still has a bunch of maxes up. I count 3 still currently. DA's trying to fight them with the scat max. And the support for DPSO went down. DA's taking it back, and they've cleared out the maxes. DA has the base,
and that goes
the building
to show how important supports are on the battlefield. I mean, we've seen it over and over through previous matches in the preseason and matches throughout this season. The supports that you have, whether they're engineers or medics, they're going to be the ones that are going to keep the steamroll going, right? You got to be tossing out those revive grenades. We've seen some massive holds with revive grenades just throwing out left and right, and I think that if DPSO would have got some revive grenades off on those guys that were outside, got them into the building really quickly before that galaxy could have demolished them, it would have been a little bit better for them in the long run.
So I was dead wrong on my assumption that DPSO would never take that point back. I'm having a drink.
Well, I'm hoping they make another push for this. They still have some time. I want to see them do this again. I think that they have it in them. You know, they didn't really dedicate too many maxes, so I think that they still have some more maxes that they could put in the play. This is something that we talked about in the past, too, is if you go full max, then you don't have any maxes for a next rush. But
you never go full max.
Yeah, you never go... I mean, you can go full max. But having some engineers and medics in the play is very important. As we saw there, if they die, you're kind of losing out on some... some lives there.
All right. It looks like the base just flipped. That's Rajnu Watchtower in DA hands. That's a 7-0 in DA favor. And now we're moving into the Biolab.
Rajnu Biolab. Oh boy.
This is going to be fun.
The first thing that I normally see with this is people go, they take down the generator so they can get into the spawn control unit room. They got to get those shields down. You know, I have faith in DA that that's going to be their first mission, and I hope we see DPSO already there defending.
DA already has. DA already has one of the points. DPSO is still holding 2 of them, and I'm not seeing DPSO is kind of spread out. They have a kind of a trail of guys from the spawn room going all the way back to B. You see DA going across the bridge to B. I'm assuming they're going for the Jin. They've got to be going for that Jin.
They got to be going.
They're trying to make it knocked out.
Like I said, that's the most important thing in this base. You want to take the Gen down. You want to get the shields down so that you can rush into that room, take their spawn control unit down, and then they can't spawn anymore, and you're able to basically just take the base. Once you're there and you're able to just defend, it's super easy.
Yeah, as Maggie was explaining a second ago, for those of you guys who don't know that are tuning in, if you take down the generator, it drops the shield around what they call an SCU. So it's a spawn control unit. Once the SCU is down, the enemy team cannot spawn at the base. They have to drop back to another base and actually come into the biolab. So that gives the attackers a great advantage if they can get that. But they have to actually get the generator and the SCU down without having the defenders resecure them.
And what we're seeing from DA is exactly that. They're going into the room. They got some maxes. They got some support. They're all holding this room, trying to make sure that this gen goes down so that they can put the pressure on the spawn control unit room.
Looks like DA's using a couple maxes. It's a pretty common tactic. You take a couple maxes, you hold the doors. Looks like DA's trying to get some light assaults with C4, little C4 fairies dropping all over the maxes, but they weren't able to get through. I'm not seeing any defense on the back door. Why is DPSO not flanking them? Oh! Speak of the devil, here comes a couple heavies with some S1s.
That's what I want to see.
Boom, baby. Oh, and the max is still clean up. Come on, heavy, come on. No, you can't resecure. Shoot the max. Oh, there. Good job. Good job, man.
He got him. I think he might have been reloading.
Reload and secure. That is a...
He was trying to resecure, but he got killed by the medic, and the medic's reviving the max, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. When you have those medics, that's...
And the smoke begins to hold the generator.
And there's still... I think they're going to get this. It's already on fire. How many seconds do we have left on this guy?
let's say just at like 20 seconds. No, more than that. Sorry, 50 seconds left on the gen. DA has a bunch more. They only had a couple maxes and a support. And now they have a number of guys in the max, and they're flipping other points on top of it. They're actually able to get more of their people in. I think they had kind of a delay there while they were trying to get their people into the biolab.
DPSO has to make some pushes for this. They need to rush all their guys into this building, re-secure their generator. Otherwise, they're gonna lose their spawn control unit, and it's not gonna be pretty.
I can't wait. So, for those of you who don't know, that shield that they're walking in and out of, DPSO, is you can fire through the shield. You can't. It's not a shield that actually stops bullets. So DA can actually walk up to the shield and just murder everybody inside that room from outside. They don't have to.
We saw that. Was that last match that we saw that where like people were in there trying to repair it, and like the enemy just came, like just wiped them all out. I was like, oh, that's so sad.
That shield gives such a false sense of security. Like you're
But we
inside,
got
you
this
feel all
massive fight
safe.
going on right now over the generator. DPSO is trying to make a massive push here.
Come on, DPSO.
They have a max in there. There's some revive grenades going off. I think they might be able to get this back up.
It might. It looks like they're clearing out the DAs.
They
Has
still have
dropped
a
their
couple
maxes.
more
They have
guys to
support
clear
still
out. They
there.
have some medics. They gotta get rid of those medics so that those medics don't
Hero
revive these
max.
maxes. They got
Oh,
one.
a couple maxes still up. I'm not seeing any NGs though. They have to have NGs if you're gonna get this gen up. You have to have NGs.
There we go.
There
There's
it is.
NG.
Get a couple
They got
more guys.
3
Yeah,
NGs,
stack
nice.
up there. Yeah, get that gen up.
All right, that's exactly what I wanted to see from them. Like I told you, they needed to make a huge push for this generator. Otherwise, it was going to be a really unpretty fight for them. So I'm glad that they got that. Now what they need to do is secure these points that they don't have. I wouldn't even worry about securing the points. I would personally defend this generator and figure out where the heck these guys are spawning at and get rid of those spawns. Whether that means you have to go back hack and kind of set up something for that, or getting rid of their beacons. I'm sure they got some down, and their sunderers.
Looks like DA's transitioning to a point cap now. They're gonna say screw it with the gen. We're just gonna take all the points and make a quick cap of this. But there is contention on all points. DA's spread out, and so is DPSO. So it's gonna come down to a straight empty fight or a straight up ground fight. And yeah, it looks like C and A are in a consistent flip the entire time. DPSO has taken A and B now. It's capping back in their favor, and C. They have all three.
And C and A are something that we normally see flipping back and forth a lot because they're not, well, I mean, I would say A can be defendable at some point, but since it is so close to the enemy's spawn, it can be difficult. I would say B is usually the one that you see people hold the most. Also, it has that generator in it. It's very much an important place for you guys to be. And you already see DA, they're setting up around there. They already have it they're trying to already get rid of it. And at least DPSO defended.
My projection was dead wrong again. Another drink. All right, B and C are in the flip. They're going after the generator. 12 minutes left in the half. That's 7-0 in DA favor right now on the scoreboard. And I'm wondering if we're going to be able to see a full 12-minute bio fight on this. If it's going to be a gen SCU fight instead of a point fight.
I personally hope it's not. I hope that DPSO is able to make a push forward and kind of make their way back to Rational Watchtower. But I'm having a feeling that you're right. I have a feeling that this is what's going to happen, is we're going to see this biolab fight that's going to consistently go back and forth. If DPSO doesn't make a push for that generator again, they're going to lose it once more, and this is going to be bad. So they need to make another push for this. I want to see a big push for them. Where are they right now? What are they doing?
Oh, man. So DA is not only holding the gen, has all 3 points, a minute 50 seconds left for the whole bio cap on top of the gen. And we have 11 minutes and 15 seconds left in the half. I am guessing we're going to see this bio flip before we even see the half end.
Oh, man. I just don't understand where DPSO is going with this. Obviously,
the sadness
they do need
in
to
your
get
voice.
a point.
The sadness in your
I'm
voice is
really
sad.
sad. You know, I gotta... When you're playing Vanu, man, I gotta have your back. So...
What's your normal saying? My Vanu homies? And now they're...
Vanu homies, why are you doing this to me? So I think A would be an important push for them right now. They need to get that counter going back up, so they need to get some points. A is a good point because it's so close to their spawn.
He sees him. He's done. DA took it back. So DPSO has C and A and B are in contention. The bio is kind of going back and forth now. The gen is still being fought over. The gen is seconds
brutal.
from going down. Oh, they have the gen down. They're rushing the SCU room. Props mines all over the place.
I think I'm okay with saying that this round is going to go all to DA. This has been fantastic play for them. They've been aggressive. They're always on the offensive. They've been doing really well with defending the locations that they are holding. But I mean, they could defend a little bit better. I think that they're trying to do a lot with the small amount of people, which to some extent is really important because it's able to make them push forward in other fronts while they're defending other locations, like they were with these generators.
It makes you feel better. DA is actually a Vonu outfit, so
they are.
You're,
so this
yeah.
is Vonu on Vonu action, but what we do is we do a coin flip, and they get to pick opposing faction for one round.
Yeah, so you get to win. You get to have your cake and eat it too. So no sadness. We're all happy here. It's still a fight. The SU is going down in 40 seconds. I apologize, 11 seconds. I keep forgetting. It's not the same as the Jin timer. And SU is down 5, 4, 3, 2. Sadness.
Yeah, I don't foresee DPSO being able to make a huge comeback from this. I don't even know if they have any squad beacons down. I don't know if our camera guys can look for those, but I don't think that they really have any spawns set up or sunderers or anything.
30 seconds left in the half. 9 minutes left in the half. 30 seconds left on the bio flip. I'm guessing, just guessing, the bio might flip before the half. 20 seconds.
All right.
That being said, before the bio flips, it's 7-0 on the board right now in DA favor. It's 7-0 DA versus DPSO. First half.
7-0. That's going to be a hard comeback. They're going to have to make a huge offensive push in round 2 to come back from this. And I really hope I see DPSO do this. I hope that they sit down, they talk about this during the halftime and go, what went wrong?
Did
What
I
happened
say
here?
7-0? I meant 12-0. It's 12-0 and the half is over. Congratulations. Everybody, half is over. We're going to go to halftime here shortly, but before we do, we're going to hear from a dead man. His name is Hamma. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right.
Hey,
How are you
Hamma.
doing?
Is that all you got?
Yeah, that's all I've got. I'm done. I'll see you guys later. Have a good night. I'm just kidding.
All right, Deringer and Hamma, you guys take it away. We're going to have them talk real quick, guys. They're going to break down the first half for you, and then we're going to go to a 15, 20-minute halftime. We're going to flip everything for the continent, and we're going to start half 2. See you guys in a little bit.
Thank you,
Yep.
Torkz and Luperza. Once again, my name is Deringer here with Hamma. Hamma, first half is over. 12-0. DasAnfall against Dropping Purple Smoke. What do you got to say about this?
Well, I mean, DasAnfall was extremely organized throughout the entire match. It was pretty impressive. DPSO really had no counter to their organization. Near the end there, I saw tons of setups where they had all sorts of different fields of fire. They were taking DPSO guys down from every possible angle. And unfortunately, they didn't have much chance to try and take the biolab back.
It was very even right at the beginning of the match, I have to say, with DasAnfall taking the A point at Howling Pass and Dropping Purple Smoke taking the Charlie point at Howling Pass. But from there, and we saw DPSO really stuck in that Charlie point for a long amount of time. They held it. They kept repelling, but I think the Bulldogs on the Galaxy and the Liberator kind of did them in ultimately. And really, once they were pushed out of that C point at Howling Pass, that really kind of turned the match and really spelled the demise of DPSO, at least in my opinion. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, that C point fight there at the beginning was pretty impressive, and they were ultimately taken out of there by from the top of the building, which I don't really think that they were expecting. And so they had quite a rush from the top. And you mentioned that Battle Galaxy. That was like a constant presence throughout the entire match.
Battle Galaxy is one of DasAnfall's signature moves. And again, this is something we've seen from all the Matherson outfits so far, is using a Liberator team, at least one Liberator team, at least one Battle Galaxy, and a few Reaver sites, etc. in the air, helping to lock down all those ground targets. In addition, at Howling Pass, we saw a lot of single Sunderers coming in from Dropping Purple Smoke. What do you think was their thought with that?
You know, I wish I knew, because that was not very effective. I think I saw maybe once or twice where they came in there with a group of Sunderers, but for the most part, it was just kind of one by one. And unfortunately, that just not a very good tactic to come in. I saw them try and come around a couple of times, but it was never really successful, unfortunately. So they weren't ever able to make a pushback towards Howling Pass there.
Now, moving down to Rashnu Watchtower, that's where we actually saw a very good max push by dropping Purple Smoke. We really thought the point was completely taken by DasAnfall, and there was really no activity being done by dropping Purple Smoke. And I personally thought they were going to start moving back to Rashnu Biolab and setting up defenses. But then we saw that killer max crash pushing in and taking that point. Did you think that they were going to be able to push out and reclaim that point ultimately?
Ultimately, no. I didn't think it would be able to happen because, well, you know, as soon as DasAnfall was able to come in there with a group of guys, they were just unbeatable. They moved as a group, and they were always as a group. I don't think I ever really saw single guys come in. That was a really impressive attack, though. I was surprised that they were able to actually get inside. I don't think they were expecting a max rush of any kind, so they definitely took them by surprise. I just want to note one thing, too. There was a couple of times when the casters, I think Torkz, I want to mention that Torkz said he was wrong numerous times. I'm not sure if we mentioned that yet. But anyway.
Yeah, Torkz was definitely getting the two outfits confused with one another.
Yes. But I did notice there were a couple of times where I think it was Luperza, I think it was both of them actually mentioned that there was nothing happening. And they were actually, I actually caught numerous Galaxy attempts that got shot down probably about 100 or 150 meters away from the A point there, and the guys just had to bail out in the middle of the field. So they were trying, but they were never able to get anywhere near there to try and make a drop on the point.
Again, DA's air superiority was very evident in this first half.
Absolutely, it's kind of been the story of competition. That seems the air is very powerful in this game, and it's definitely something that you can't neglect.
All right, at this point, we've covered the first half. Once again, DasAnfall is leading, dropping Purple Smoke by the score of 12-0. We're going to flip it over to music for a few while we continue flipping these bases and get the map set up for round 2, and we will be back shortly. All right, welcome back, everyone. We are just about to start round 2 of Season 1, Match 3 between dropping Purple Smoke and DasAnfall. We had a couple little issues getting the map flipped over and a phantom point flipping on its own. So I do apologize for the additional time being added while we get stuff sorted out, but we do appreciate our viewers' patience. So once again, just to recap the match, currently DasAnfall is leading, dropping Purple Smoke by a score of 12-0. They did roll on through and capture the biolab at the end of the first round. Once again, we have switched to opposite sides again as well. That means in round 2, DasAnfall will be playing as Vanu, and dropping Purple Smoke will be playing as New Conglomerate. I'm going to bring Luperza and Torkz back in as we prepare to begin the second half. Luperza, Torkz, are you with me?
Yes, I'm ready for round 2.
I am prepared for round 2. Let's do this. You see the normal loadout. We have everybody waiting next to their galaxies near their starting hex. Right on their starting hex, I should say. And they're going to run out. 2 minutes to begin, guys. 2 minutes till... Oh, man, that thing got a false start. That galaxy almost just flew away.
He got a little excited. So we got to kind of talk to Shepard a little bit in the halftime. Seems like they had some issues there. They're still going to try to play defensively, I think, in round 2, and I think that that's going to be interesting. They obviously feel like they don't have like the air that DA does. DA's air. I mean, one thing that they were doing too was they were watching these guys, and they're watching where they were spawning their aircraft, and they were just keeping DPSO down and not even letting them spawn an aircraft. And when they did, they would just keep taking them out one by one.
Yeah, DA's air, or I should say DA conglomerate with Crimea Reaver's air, is very good. For those of you guys who don't know, DPSO kind of took this match last minute because we had a drop out of a team. Hopefully we can fix a lot of these issues in season 2 as we do more of a qualifier setup. More teams can participate, and the last 8 will be produced and cast, but we can have a bunch of matches outside of the actual show itself, so teams can get a chance to get their feet wet and figure out what this is all about before we go into the actual show next season.
Yeah, and we will be able to see a little bit more of who should be going against who in the bracket.
Absolutely, yeah. We want to get as much of the community as possible to be able to play this and enjoy themselves. For those of you that have a interest whatsoever in doing any
Down to 20 seconds.
competitive stuff. 20 seconds to game time. Alrighty. 15 seconds, guys. 10 seconds. Oh boy.
And they are off.
Here we go, guys. So everybody, for both teams are loading in the gals. You can see in the picture, PIP, that both teams are in the gals. They're off. They're going. They have a couple. Oh boy, a couple ESFs from DA this time around. And they're just normal load, normal starting for both teams. Heading off to the base, straight as the crow flies.
Yeah, pretty straightforward starts. Similar to the round one, similar to many rounds that we've seen in the past. People grabbing galaxies or grabbing ESFs.
See a little bit of an air fight, not too much. Scythe bailed. A couple other ESFs are hammering on the DPSO gal. The gal's dropping in on A. DPSO dropped the majority of their people on A. They have a couple on C as well when they kind of flew by. And you see DA with their air just hammering A point immediately. Lol pods away.
Yeah, and we know that these guys, like we said multiple times, DA is known for their air. It's an interesting fight. I'm wondering what DPSO is bringing to fight that air. Are they going to be bringing in some anti-air? I really hope that we see that, whether that's via maxes, some skyguards. I mean, they tried to pull some skyguards out last time. I think my main thing with air-to-air combat, you gotta fight air with air, in my opinion. I think the best anti-air is air.
We saw a little bit of a difference to that in the EU match today, though. They had a bunch of lock-ons and they were clearing up air right and left. There is options outside of air, but air is definitely one of the more effective ways to battle air. Kind of makes sense. But so A, B, and C. B is in contention. Each team has a point of their own. DA is on A, DPSO is on C, and B is under contention still. DPSO or DA is on B as well. So A and B are in DA in control. DPSO is on C, and we're starting this lengthy 20-minute countdown. We see squad beacons all over the place, and DPSO squad beacon goes down. DA still has theirs up. Oh man, there's this pandemonium all over again. It looks like DPSO is kind of locking into C again.
I believe one of them hacked the terminal, and they're making their way that way. So that should hopefully help them a little bit. I believe that's DPSO that's grabbing that.
It is. DPSO have a Sunday out, but DA's just hammering it. Rockets after rockets after rockets all day long.
Oh, and he was trying to get to that tower. The tower, we've seen the tower work really well for Sunderers. It's a great defense. The problem is that when you focus too much on it, like we saw last week, we had one outfit that was just like holding in there and wasn't able to take a point. When it all comes down to it, the point of this lane is you got to take the points, right? You got to hold the capture points. You got to push the bases to get those timers down. We're seeing a strong start here from DA. DA is using the top of the C
building to shoot down. They're using that as a great advantage, and they have the squad beacons back up again. DA is pretty squad beacon heavy tonight, and they're using it to great effect. They have guys dropping right and left. You saw it last time in S material storage, and they're doing it again here at Howling Pass.
Well, and that's a great point. And I think that we need to be seeing more outfits utilizing squad beacons because they are such a quick form of transportation. On the other end, the enemy knows where they're coming from. So as an enemy, you got to take those beacons down quickly. You got to put pressure on those areas so that you can make sure that you're securing them. But I don't know. We'll see what's going on here. I think that they're pulling more Sunderers and trying to make their way back to the base once more.
Here comes the DPSO Sunder push. I hope it's as good as the first half. This is going to be amazing.
I think that this way is going to be a little bit better for them. Whenever you have that cliff, it's a little bit harder. Just because people can see you coming down that cliff from Ratchet Watchtower, and I mean from NS material storage area. It's just a little rough.
That Liberator's is doing work on that Sunday. That Shredder's is tearing it up. Oh, that Sunder's already down. DA with their Liberators, Shredders, and Tank Busters. You saw that strafe went pretty quick.
Yeah, their air pressure is just insane, and DPSO. They're wanting to make this.
Yeah, DPSO is having a heck of a time getting in here. DA still has squad beacons all over the place. DPSO is sitting outside with a Skyguard. That Skyguard might kill something. I don't know. I mean, I'm not seeing any. It's funny. Oddly enough, I'm not seeing any DA air, but the lightning's getting hammered by something. Oh, okay. I wasn't rendering it. They have some fire coming down from the cliffs above Howling Pass. DPSO isn't able to get back into the base just yet. DA has 4 minutes 40 seconds left on the cap, 40 minutes left on the half, and it's off to a very one-sided start for this half.
And, you know, I don't think that one lightning is going to be able to take out all the air.
Oh,
I
that
don't know
battle
if
gal.
that's the best strategy here. You got to have a little bit more for them than just one Skyguard
Do work,
lightning.
Bulldog. Do work. Skyguard versus Battle Gal. Battle Gal wins. Here comes.
But I think he's still alive, though. I think he got out of that lightning. I don't think he died.
He did, but DPSO's air hammering this gal right after. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, if you have a rocket in the face, that'll do the work. Looks like DPSO was able to take C back. It was quickly returned to DA hands, though. 6 minutes left on the cap before the flip of C. I'm seeing, yeah, it looks like DPSO is coming back to their peripheral base. They're trying to get a gal drop off. The gal drop is not going very well. Oh, it's gone.
Their
Gone
gal
in the
drop
air.
was slightly off, too. So you got some guys who are dropped off in the open. I'm wondering, it looks like they're heading for B, right?
It's raining DPSO all over this place. Body parts. It's horrible.
Dropping purple spandex
Body
men?
parts? Oh. B is flipping. They were able to get a couple guys on B. They do have B in their hands, so DA has 2, and DPSO does have B point held. DA was able to retake it pretty quickly. We see a nice little air fight here. ESF versus ESF. That's a whoa, and that's a good way. You can ram people. That works. Looks like yeah, DA is cleaning up. DA in the air. It's a rough fight. It's got to be a rough fight trying to fight ESF.
The communication that they have is pretty amazing. They have a couple ESF pilots with a lib in their galaxy, and they're all working together. You'll see them swoop in together. You'll see them, dancing around all the enemy ESFs and trying to take them out. If they need help, they're pretty
good. It's like
good
a beautiful ballet of death.
Yes, exactly.
It's
the
gorgeous.
ballet dancers is always my go-to analogy when it comes to that. I don't know why. It's very whimsical.
You say it's more like swing, maybe?
Swing dancing?
Maybe just a little bit. Square dancing?
I think there can be moments when you have some swing dancing going on.
The lib crashing into ESFs, that's swing, right? Anyways, all right, so it looks like...
I do want to say that DA has been doing a fantastic job utilizing that galaxy. We've seen it throughout the whole evening. We've seen that in the past through other outfits, and I think it's becoming like a key staple in your makeup for Community Clash.
Air. I'm looking forward to actually to seeing the Amrish and Esmir lanes.
Me too.
Amrish lane is air friendly, but not nearly as air friendly as this Indar lane.
Yeah, I think this Indar lane is very intense, especially depending on which area you start with, because sometimes it kind of feels as if you're at a little bit of a disadvantage. I think that the Amrish and the Esmir lanes are going to go a lot more smoother.
Oh my goodness. This is beautiful. This is going to turn into a great dance in a second. So there's ESFs all over the air. Deringer's doing a great job following them in. This is the DPSO air crash. I deem it so.
Bring it on.
DA is already on top of him with the scythe. He's going after the first guy he sees. DPSO is not turning around to engage the scythe. This is going to like an LA freeway here pretty soon. Oh, this is horrible. Oh, DPSO sees the scythe. They're firing on the scythe. The scythe's picking off his second victim. Oh, man. Come on, DPSO. You can turn this around. Air hammer and crash into him.
Communication. These guys gotta work together and pull targets and help each other out. Like we saw one guy who got straight away from his crew and no backup whatsoever. He's just left off and got killed by the DA crew. So air is really important, but you gotta communicate. You gotta be working together. Otherwise, you're gonna get kind of split up, I would say, from your crew, and that's gonna be the worst thing, especially when you get split up and you're stuck in the middle of a bunch of enemy air.
So I want to kind of there's still some fighting going on, but I want to kind of recap this real quick. So you saw like a dozen DPSO ESFs head in. And all of a sudden they scattered like birds all over the place, and then they start getting picked off. and they just went right, left, top, bottom. One crashed into the mountain. I mean, it was utter anarchy for just about like a minute and a half, and now the last vestiges of the DPSO air crash are being picked up. Lib versus Lib over the top of Howling Pass.
And I believe Howling Pass is going to get capped here shortly as well. How much time do we have left on that? I don't know if any of our cams are over that way.
Looks like Howling Pass is right in the last seconds of its cap as we speak. Lib versus Lib, and there's not much air. There's not much air action left, guys. That was probably the longest air encounter I've seen on CC so far. It looks like Howling Pass has been flipped. That's 15-0 in DA favor currently. DPSO is resorting to ground flak from that max, I'm pretty sure. A couple of them. So they're going to go to anti-air maxes as their backup, as they're fighting on abandoned NS offices. This is a much easier to defend than NS material storage, in my opinion. And that site just smashed into that max. Oh
yeah,
man.
I'll agree with you on this, because the thing with abandoned NS offices is that the A point is right next to your spawn. I mean, really, you can just book it, run to A, recap it, and you can just keep this rolling back and forth. The major downfall of NS offices is that you have all this open field around you that's flat. So you have to be really careful about air bombardment, tanks rolling in. It can be a rough situation, especially with that mountain over the edge. So they can just go a little bit north, hide, repair, come back, and kind of put some more pressure on you, and you have to be...
DA, as you see at the top of the screen, you can barely see it as the viewers, but we have a squad beacon at the very top of that tower. Some pilot was very ballsy and dropped off right there at the top of the tower, got a squad beacon off, and you see DA just dropping. Again, strong squad beacon play by DA, and DA showing just doing great work with squad beacons tonight. You can't really argue that. It's a quick way to move around. They're leapfrogging all over the place. Instead of using gals or sunders in the long movement, instead of trying to get armor across this field, as we saw last week, armor across this field, not usually a good idea. And armor firing into this point, usually not very good idea either.
Oh, well, we've seen some interesting armor columns on this field that have actually worked pretty well. I mean, the reasoning behind that, I would say, is because there is not a lot of cover for air. The only cover really is if you go over the mountains to the north. So you come in, you swoop in, you get out, you swoop in, and you get out. But I think with the tanks, you can definitely surround this base and kind of put some major pressure on the spawn point. So I wouldn't negate tanks in this situation.
Yeah, negated.
I will say that I'm curious if DPSO has found that beacon yet, because it's still there, and I'm wondering if they're going to send a light assault or maybe a sniper or somebody take it out, because otherwise they're just going to keep getting these drops, and it's going to be pretty rough for them.
So DPSO is being pushed back in their spawn room. DA does have the point. No, DPSO broke out and they took it again. DA was able to be knocked off. They got rid of their squad beacon. DA has a handful of guys still around. DPSO is using LAs to kind of wipe them off the roofs, holding the point. I'm not seeing a significant push from either side really at the moment. DPSO is using their anti-air maxes, but no real push from DA yet.
Well, I think that the problem for DA right now is that they only have that squad beacon, and that's not a lot of spawns. That's only one squad that they're able to spawn there. They're going to have to get some more spawn points that are closer, whether that's through Sunderers or more beacons. But you also have your beacon timers, so you can't just, you can't keep using that unless you're staying alive for quite a bit of time.
Oh, here we go. So DA is bringing in some Sundays now. That's going to be their point. They get hit pretty much immediately by a rocket of some sort. DA is locked down outside the point. They are deployed. They have their Sunder outside. They're using their ESFs to just lull pod the crap out of the spawn room to keep DPSO inside. DA does have the point. 3 minutes, 20 seconds left to count on. 31 minutes left in the half. DPSO is locked in their spawn room. DA has a gal, a Sunday, I'm pretty sure some guys, and they're all on the point.
I love the play here from DA as well. They're their Galaxy was a little low on health. He come down. He got a little bit of repairs. He got some ammo. It's just I don't know how well this is going to go for the DPSO crew. I think that they need to put some major pressure on it. They're going to have to make a big push for A. They can't just sit there in their spawn room. I really hope they make a big push for A, because they need to keep the pressure on here. They need to not give DA more points when it comes down to it.
This is, I mean, they are fighting a very hard battle against DA. They knew they had a great opponent. They're willing to take the spot last minute, and for that I applaud you, sirs and madams, possibly. I'm not sure. Either way, DPSO is taking a max push, trying to clear out DA off that double stack right to the north of their spawn room. And yeah, I hope the best. They are taking the point back. Their supports, their maxes are able to push DA off, but DA keeps coming down off that squad beacon. They just keep dropping one after another after another. They have another one up. They have the Sunday up. They have the Gal. I'm wondering if they just have a Gal floating it. Since they have such great air superiority, I'm betting you they have a Gal that's sitting above the base, just dropping guys.
Just dropping guys, yeah. I'm certain that's probably happening. But I am liking that DPSO is making is putting some pressure on the point. I hope that they continue doing that. I mean, we've seen some amazing plays at this base, like just constant back and forth with grenades, with the revives. Like, I want to see that intense fight right here once more. I'm hoping, I'm cheering for you, DPSO. I want to see you make a comeback from this. At least a huge defense.
DPSO does have the point back. It is in contention. DA dropped a bunch of guys right on the back of that great old MLG Gal. MLG Gal floating away, doing its work and rolling out. So they have their guys back on point. DA is fighting for point as we speak. DPSO has recapped it. DA, nope, DA has it again. They have 2 minutes, 20 seconds, 2 minutes and 2 seconds. I apologize. Till cap, 29 minutes left in the half. The points are currently 15-0 in DA favor.
So DPSO needs to get rid of these spawn points. The major thing that's happening for them is that DA is able to continually put pressure on the A point. They have that squad beacon. That squad beacon has not been touched this entire fight at abandoned NS offices. And they have the Sunderer. They need to get rid of both of those things before they even try to like hold this and defend it, because they're just going to keep coming back and keep spawning at them, and it's not going to go well for them.
Let's say DA pretty much has the space locked down. They are just kind of farming them out of the spawn room. They have their lull pods. They have their guys locking that choke point out right up to the north, would be the northwest of the point. And DA has 1 minute 15 seconds left in the cap, 28 minutes left in the half.
Oh man, they got to make a huge push for A here, just so that they can keep this timer down though. And that seems to be a consistent thing with DPSO. They're constantly having to worry about that timer, make big pushes, try to come back and defend these. And we haven't seen a lot of that, so I hope that they can make a push. What we've been consistently seeing is like a couple guys run out of the spawn, a Max and an NG run out of spawn. That's not gonna do it, guys. You have like a huge entire crew of DA with their air, all their guys up on top of these buildings, doing some major work, suppressing you at your spawns. You've got to make huge plays. You can't make these little plays here and there.
I'm wondering if DPO's dropping back for anti-air. I can't see inside the spawn room at the moment. I'm wondering if a majority of their forces are dropping back for a rude surprise. Yeah, I'm Mouth Southeast is no joke as far as the defense. I wonder if they're going to use that to their advantage, or if they're just trying to hold as long as they can here. They only have 15 seconds left. 27 minutes, 20 seconds left in the half, 15 seconds left on this cap, and that would put 2 more points on the board. I would say 17-0. 17-0 in DA favor in about 5 seconds. 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Alrighty. 17-0 in DA favor, and we're waiting to see a good fight at Mouth Southeast. Southeast is as I said before, no joke for a defense.
Right.
You can actually have a great
Mouth
defense
Southeast, here. Mouth Southeast, you have this huge bridge that with the towers, like you need to be utilizing these. You need to get your guys in there. I don't even know if they have their turrets manned. I don't think they do. I think they have 1 turret manned.
An anti-air turret manned, yeah.
Yeah, they need to get both of those turrets manned. They need to get some more guys on that point. If that's if their goal is just to sit here and defend, that needs to happen. They are pulling out some armor, so that could work for them. But we've consistently been seeing them pull armor, right? And it hasn't been working for them all evening. So I'm not sure if they're gonna change their strategy up at some point, or if they're going to keep pushing out with the same strategy over and over again.
So it looks like DPSO is dropping a couple Skygirds out. Chuck Norris Thunder. They have the air turrets up. I mean, this is going to be a rough place to hit by air. I'm wondering if DA's is going to try to brute force it, or if they're going to try to adapt and go ground. I'm interested to see, because I'm not seeing any response from DA just yet.
I've seen a little bit of harassment from them, but very little. You see the site that's coming in here trying to do something, but I think he bailed, actually.
Ooh, yeah, where did he end up
down.
Going? I haven't seen a squad beacon yet either. I expect DA to back us, drop a squad beacon back by the tech plant, and just drop guys right and left on A. That is my call. That's what's gonna happen. We'll see.
All right, I'm hoping. So DPSO has some Sunderers set up. They are setting up a bunch of armor that they're trying to push forward here. They're trying to get their anti-air up here on all these turrets, as well as getting some extra guys man and their lightning.
Galaxy getting pounded by that
yeah,
anti-air.
He's getting messed up. So I think that they might be able to hold. This base might be their savior. This base might be the way that they can defend. But they're gonna have to. It's gonna be work. It's not gonna be just a little.
MLG
little
lib. MLG lib dead.
I think
and he crashes. He just like, heck with it. I'm out. And just right into the ground. DPSO setting up a great anti-air force. They have a couple of guys on A as well. They're kind of waiting for that surprise. I'm not seeing a response from DA. I'm wondering if oh man, I can't wait to see DA's response to this. DA has one lone LA. That must have been out of that MLG LA, the MLG
Liberator.
Liberator.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw some guy drop out of there. They also had the one guy from the site that dropped out, and he went over to A, but he wasn't able to take it. He got taken out. So again, you know, 1 by 1 is not going to do it. What is their what are they up to?
Tech plant. Oh, this good movement on their part. They're moving. They're manning the tech plant turret as well. That's effective as well. I see DA actually focusing the tech plant.
There's a whole bunch of them. That's not. I wouldn't say that's a bad strategy at all.
No, it's oddly enough, it's weird. DA is actually focusing on getting the turret deck. Like, they want the turret deck. They instead of going after the base directly, they're trying to get some of their guys on the turret deck, I'm assuming? Are they just kind of jerking around and landing on top of it? I don't know.
It's an interesting strategy. Take the enemy's turrets. Sometimes you can get away with it and you can do some major work. DA, I think that they're going to end up getting that. Yep, they got the Sunderer as well.
We're seeing
DPSO is missing their Sunderer.
We're seeing the hero battle gal backing up into the tech plant. DA is slowly coming in from the tech plant. Instead of squad beacons, they're just coming in on foot via the gal and a Sunderer set up back there. DA has the point, and they're the only handful of guys though. Still about a half dozen.
This is an interesting strategy too from DA. They know that you know they know where the spawn point is at Mao Tech plant. They are watching over it with their Galaxy, but they're also spawning guys. So it's an interesting strategy to kind of like back hop them on spawns and just kind of farm that.
So you saw DPSO kind of get all their guys into the towers for defense. They were expecting everything from that side. They had the armor on that side, and DA's like, we might just go around the back. And they kind of rolled in the back door, and now they're coming from the back door. DA doing a great job at the back door.
Oh man, I'm being a little immature here. So I'm wondering how well they're going to be able to hold at this point. Come on, DPSO. I'm trying to cheer for you. This is making it rough. So at Mao Southeast Gate, you have a spawn room. DPSO, I should say, has a spawn room that's really close to the A point. They can kind of walk across this bridge and make their way back to the A point. So it should be pretty easy for them to get this point back if they make a push for it. Which it looks like they are. They have a max in there, right?
Yeah, they do. DA's they're trying to set up a Sunny in the back too to kind of pin them in between. They want to take DA and surprise them from the back. They don't want DA just rolling in the back without any sort of defense. So they're setting up their own Sunder behind it, and they're going to use it as their own spawn point instead of their main spawn room. DA is using their squad beacon again. They have their squad beacon up. They're dropping
right at the top too.
Yeah, but DPSO is waiting for that. They have a couple LAs. They're going up there to clear it off. DPSO is finishing the squad beacon now. No more squad beacons for you.
Good. That's what I want to see. Come on, DPSO. You can do this. You know where they're spawning. Get rid of their spawns. Take them out. Make sure you're holding the points. Don't let them hold the points for too long. You've got to get those timers down. I mean, they're cutting it close, right?
They are.
Yeah, it's like super close, man. You gotta get this point back and hold it.
DPSO is locking down the point with MLG heavies, and 21 minutes left in the half, and minute 30.
I want to see all 20 minutes just them defending this point. I don't want them to give DA any more points.
Last time we saw an effective attack on this, it wasn't even from the two bottom stairs. People were prepping for that. It was right along the balcony on the outside there. You see, but I'm not seeing any LA play on the side of the balcony. Looks like DPSO is favoring going back to their spawn, their sunder right behind the base and pulling a mix of infantry, and then the scythe comes down and harasses them as they go by.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting strategy. I understand where they're coming from, and actually I think it's a really good play on their part, because the problem with coming from the spawn room is that you do have that bridge. It is a huge choke point. They do see you. They can utilize that balcony. And if you're coming from behind here, you have the high ground because you have that ridge.
They do have it is much better defense to go from the high ground and come down than it is to try to come across that bridge from the spawn room. That spawn room bridge is suicide. And
It is. It can be rough, but it's so close. You don't have to go that one route, right? So you can distract them that way, and then you can make pushes around the other side or under the bridge. Like, you don't have to go right across the bridge. And I think that's what gets people sometimes. They're like, "Oh, but the devs made this bridge for me." Yeah, they made it to, like, they made you an easy route, but it's definitely not always the smartest
Tuck like
route.
to put a teleporter right on top of the point from the spawn room and just teleport right across. And
I don't know how
inside the
long they're going to
building.
be able to keep this under, though, because their sites know that it's there. So they're going to, and this is something that we've been seeing from DA, really strong plays. They find where, DPSO is spawning, and they get
Mag
rid of
Rider
those
play.
thunders. They get rid of those beacons.
It's the first Mag Rider I've seen pulled all night, and they just rolled out, wiped out that sunder, and they're pinning them on the spawn room of the tech plant. They're just waiting. They're waiting by that tech plant spawn room. So as soon as the space flips, they're just gonna hang out there. I blame Clegg for this. He should have made a better bridge for that base.
Ah.
That's Clegg's fault. Anyways, so the mag's kind of rolling around. He's taking a leisurely stroll, waiting for people to come out of the spawn room.
He's peeking around, checking if there's enemies anywhere.
You see, so DA was able to get a sunder set up right behind the point. They're swarming all over the point. They have about 20 seconds left for the cap, 18 minutes left in the half. 17-0 in DA favor as the score at the moment.
So pretty much at this point, we know we're pretty certain DA is going to win this match. It's pretty obvious. The thing that I want DPSO to do is play strong. Don't give them any more points. Leave it at this point. Do not give them any more points. So and so far we're seeing that. We're seeing them hold it. But
So okay, it's a flip. It's 19-0 in DA favor. DPSO is going to roll back. They're going to get 24 galaxies and crash all of DA's air. That's probably not going to happen, but I would love to see it. Anyways, the DA is moving forward with their sunders. They have their galaxy already moving into the tech plant. They have that mag rider suppressing the spawn already. DA knew this was coming. They were just kind of waiting for the cap, and they were going to move ahead aggressively. They have people already at the point. 10 seconds in. Oh, GSD, boom, in, beautiful. Not only a gal, GSD worked on the first time too. I didn't see a pre-fire on that. Good job, good work on that.
so what are they doing over there at their warp gate? Are they doing what you said? Are they really legit? They're gal
really hope
bombing.
so.
No, I think you're right.
Oh
What is that?
yeah, please. Oh my gosh, that would make my day. Please do this.
I believe that's what's happening. I think what you want is going to happen, Torkz.
Woo! Alrighty, so we see. I want to see this air fight. This is going to be an awesome end air fight for this match. Whale smash. Here it comes. Come on, I want to see the fight.
If they're all manned in their battle gals, you can do some major work with that many gals.
Five gals up and a couple of ESFs. DA is just kind of hanging out with their sights. They're rolling around the outside of the gals, and you see all those gals gunned though. They're all gunned. They have anti-air guns all over them. Bulldogs firing, rolling through, just hanging out. Where are they going? No, your base is back there. Turn around. All right, so they got a couple when they went through, and they're kind of circling. They're knocking out whatever air they do see. I'm not seeing a DA response yet. The Gal Armada has won. Battlefield Gal Armada, amazing. All right, and the two don't crash into each other. No, okay, you're good.
They were able to actually take out quite a bit of DA's air, which was fairly amusing for me. But in the end, that's not going to help you get the point.
That gal is gonna die. No, it lived. They got outside the.
Survivor!
And I still see the gals are still circling. We don't need a tech plant. We just need lots of galaxies in the air. And this
He got
is what.
demolished.
Oh yeah, that's then he's.
There's
he's
still one up,
wreckage.
but he's got like 4 sights on
I
him.
can do
He's
this.
going
These
down.
sights are no. Oh, and he goes down too. Where's the last gal? Come on, lone survivor. Yeah, you got this. Now you're ditching people already. He's like, heck this. I'm out. I'm not.
People
standing
are
here.
out. They don't want to stay in there and die. It's
Come on, man. You got this. You can do this. All it takes is just a great gunning crew, and all these ESFs are dead. They're
and
all
you got a
yours.
sight on. He's got a sight on.
Oh,
his
he came
booty.
right
I
over
don't
the
think it's
top
gonna-
too. Surprise! And you're dead. Well, good airplay by DA. Good airplay by DPSO. That was an interesting into the to the air push. We have what was it? 3 minutes
does
left.
DA even have any guys on the A point? Like that's what I'm curious about. I'm like, are they even worrying about defending at all? Look at
Hey.
no 0 guys at A. Look,
This is about fun. We don't need this point. We need fun. We need galaxies.
No,
we need
but
flash
this-
races to the heck
So
planet. I don't know.
DA is totally just thrown off. They know they've kind of won this. They know DPSO isn't really going to make a push for it, so they weren't like I mean, they got some defense here, but I think that oh, there's a max crash coming. Yes, yes. I
You
want to
can
see
do
this
it. Oh
push
my
rate.
gosh,
You
that's a
can do
lot
it
of
now.
maxes. They have
And they got
grenades
support,
already
they got some
down.
medics. They got some.
Oh,
Man,
what is
they
this?
need-
That is cheap. Don't. Oh, those
Oh.
size. Oh. You can't use size for
Dude,
blockers. That's not
DA.
fair.
DA demolishing a ton of those maxes, wrecking them. Some of them are not like they have barely any health left. All their support is
You
kind
got
of
this. Come on,
wrecked.
DPSO, take that back.
They got
This-
completely spread up. They have they have a couple engineers, but they need to group back up. They're all spread out everywhere. There's a couple guys going to A by themselves. It's not a very smart move. You gotta you gotta group back up together. Get these guys repaired. Get some revives going out. That
So
was
all I'm
ridiculous.
picturing is from the size pilot. He's like, "Oh, that's a bunch of maxes. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna crash into all of them." And that's what he did. He just smashed into a group of them. And DA still has the point. 2 minutes 45 seconds left on the cap. This would be the ending of the half if they take this. 13 minutes 20 seconds left in the half. I apologize. I messed that up. 2 minutes 40 seconds left on the tech plant. 13 minutes left on the half. Current points are 19-0. 19-0 DA favor. And
I don't
Yeah.
know if I would have gone that specific route to get to the base. Like they could have gone under the tunnels where they could have come out like right exactly where Deringer's cam is. Like they could have come right out there instead of going to run across the outside. I just don't understand why did they run outside from one building to the next? Why didn't they go through the underground tunnel? Tell me, Torkz, why?
I don't know. You know, usually there's a couple different places you can come up from the elevators here, and they chose an outside shield point, and I'm not entirely sure why. I don't know what the reasoning behind that was, but there is better points inside the base. Maybe they thought that DA was expecting them there and were prepped. Maybe they had a Sunday over there. Sometimes they park Sundays over it.
Yeah, but it's, I don't know. I still would have tried it at least. Have one guy go up and scout for you. I mean, we have infiltrator cloaks who can just pretty much stay cloaked forever. Just go up there and check it out, scout for people. I mean, and then the push that they made with those maxes, like why wasn't there a revive grenade thrown out to get those maxes back up, even though they got demolished by the aircraft? Like, there's just some plays going on in my head where I'm just like, was it just chaotic for them? Did communication get
They have the point.
dysfunctional?
At least for the moment.
Yeah, I mean, at least they made a push. I'm proud of them for that part. I think there was probably a better route for them.
So DA still is taking the point back. 1 minute 20 seconds left in the base cap. 11 minutes 40 seconds left in the half. 19-0 in DA favor. And is DPSO mounting up in the spawn room again? Is that what you're seeing, Luperza? Because I'm not seeing darts, and I'm not seeing any registration of where they're coming from.
Well, our camera guys they haven't given us any cam on where they're at, so I'm not actually certain what's going on with them. I hope that they are. I think that if they can make another push like that, that would have gone really well for them if they just did it in a more
So you kind of see,
tactical way.
guys, for those people viewing this, you see those darts kind of sitting around what would be the back of the actual stack for the turrets in the back. That's actually where one of the jumps up is. I think they're waiting for them to come in the back door. They have darts up waiting for it, and they aren't coming across the tunnels underneath. So I'm not sure where they're coming from. Are they just mounting up in the spawn room and they're going to make
Maybe
a
they're
push?
maybe they're back at the maybe they're going back to galaxies again. Do another galaxy push?
Maybe. 15 seconds left. 12 seconds. And we're counting down from 10. If they take this, that's a 24-0 for DA. It's a knockout, I guess, kind of.
I would
10 minutes left
I
in the
would
half.
definitely say that's a knockout.
And we have a knockout. All right, 10 minutes left in the half. The half is over now. 5 points for DA. That is 24-0 in DA favor. And DPSO is taking the gal. And they're going to kind of say hi. They're going to, congratulations.
As soon as I hop back in a game, I'll send out a complete message.
Alrighty. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. We're going to hand this back to our wonderful hosts and our semi-alive other host, Deringer and Hamma. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, what
I'm
did you
doing
guys
wonderful.
think of that round?
It was quite interesting. I did enjoy DPSO's Galaxy Smash, and I know you guys saw my camera work as I was following galaxies all over the place. And what you guys don't realize is at the end, the SCU was blown and DPSO had been wiped, and they couldn't even respawn at the base. And that's kind of why there was nothing going on at the end. They were kind of just basically stopped. But let's recap the entire round. Hamma, do you want to start it off with Howling Pass?
Sure. So one of the things that I noticed early on there at Howling Pass is DPSO actually took the same tactic as they took the first time around and tried to hold C for a while. Were successful for a short time, but unfortunately were pushed out. So I kind of saw a very similar repeat of the first round in that particular regard.
It seemed to me as if DasAnfall was able to more quickly push DPSO out of that C point this time around than they were last time. And part of me wonders if that's because they were playing their native Vanu sovereignty as compared to New Conglomerate in the first half.
Yeah, that's certainly possible. Much more familiar with that. And so it's, once you get into that familiar aspect of it, I'm sure that definitely played a role in being able to take it back quicker.
Once again, DasAnfall's air was quite superior. Once again, it kept DPSO in their spawn rooms a lot, especially when we moved over to Abandoned NS. They had trouble getting out of that spawn room to even go contest the A point. DasAnfall was able to drop their people right on the point out of their galaxy the entire time. Real tough for DPSO to mount a good take back at that particular point.
Yeah, and also while that was all occurring, back at Howling Pass, I noticed a couple times DPSO came back there and tried to take the generator and do a few things to maybe create a diversion. Fortunately, it didn't really pay off for them. They weren't able to trick anybody, but they did attempt to go back a couple times while the second base was in contention and trick some people.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There was a time when DA was kind of milling around the A point, not being able to cap it because DPSO had made a push backwards to recap at Howling Pass. But then we did see, moving on to just outside Mao, there would kind of seem to be a lull as DPSO got all set up and we really didn't know where DasAnfall was. And then they kind of came from behind them and started taking the point. I was surprised by that tactic.
Yeah, that was very interesting. I was looking around for him for quite a while, and I couldn't even, I heard you guys too. We were looking around for him, couldn't find him. So that was an interesting tactic. That battle actually went on for quite a while and ultimately turned over when DA was able to get a Sunderer in that little valley in there. I don't know if they ever noticed it. It didn't really look like it ever got hit. So.
And we heard Torkz and Luperza talking about that bridge battle, and Torkz is blaming Clegg, saying he's designed that bridge terribly. So I know you're good friends with Clegg, and you're going to tell him about that, correct?
Yes, absolutely. He clegged up that bridge. I'm actually going to take Tork's side and just say that he clegged it up because it's much funner to do it that way.
I blame this entire match on Clegg.
Okay, all right. That sounds good.
Finally, when we move over to Mao Tech, DasAnfall was quickly on the point. We did see some good max crashes, though, by DPSO trying to get back at that A point. Unfortunately, those DA scythes are just on top of them almost instantaneously when they came out of that spawn tube.
Literally on top of them, like literally sitting there trying to block the way for them to go past. I thought that I wasn't really a fan of that particular tactic. I would have been angry if I was one of those maxes, but I mean, it was valid. I mean, they stopped them from getting in and took them out, so.
All right, we got to get Ender back in this channel, but I do know that Shepard is with us, so let's start doing our final interview with our leaders. But first, I want to let our viewers know once again the final score this evening. DasAnfall has defeated Dropping Purple Smoke by a score of 24-0. Dropping Purple Smoke has been eliminated from this single elimination bracket. Again, I do want the viewers to understand that Dropping Purple Smoke was a late addition after 2 other outfits dropped out from competing. So we do want to give hats off to Dropping Purple Smoke with short notice for coming on Community Clash and taking that spot that those other 2 outfits dropped out of. So once again, welcome back, Shepard. Thank you again for giving us some entertaining max crashes, some galaxy bombs, things I know that you guys do a lot of.
Thank you. It's been a great amount of fun for us all. We tried to provide you guys tonight with a decent show. I'm sorry we weren't up to spec. I know it might not have been as entertaining to watch as we hoped it will be. Props on DA for everything they've done tonight. You guys absolutely were on cue on everything, and yeah, you deserve that win 100%.
All right, as always, we want to make sure that if anybody's interested in Dropping Purple Smoke, how can a prospective applicant get in touch with the outfit?
Pretty easy. We're really open. Just come on the Connery server, join one of our open public platoons, and at the end of one of our ops, just request to join. We'll take you in, we'll train you up, and we'll get you to participate in everything that DPSO does. However, I've got a slight mention. Sorry. We were happy to congratulate everybody on the game tonight. I just personally felt that it was not really fun. We congratulate everybody on a good game. Some of the DA members were quite hurtful in that. Sorry. Anyways, great game, everybody.
All right, let's bring in Ender now. Ender, are you with us?
I am here.
All right, we want to congratulate you on our win this evening and moving on to the next round. Unfortunately, we don't know who you will be fighting next, but we do know that it will be either Future Crew or Total Recoil. But let's not talk about the future. Let's talk about the past that just happened. What were your keys to victory this evening?
We were actually trying out a couple new stuff for ourselves, so we actually had a lot of mess ups internally that we're hoping to get rid of. Just wanted to thank DPSO for jumping in filling in last second. That's got to be hard on anybody. And apologies for the comments at the end there. I've already talked to the 2 people that said anything, so.
I think what really the issue is that I was not playing with DPSO this evening, and that is a huge handicap. Am I right?
Absolutely, Deringer. I mean, without you leading one of our platoons, we're just down 10 men. It's terrible.
All right, Ender, how can a prospective applicant for DasAnfall, I know you guys are a very small, close-knit outfit, but in case someone out there is interested in getting in touch with you guys, how can they do that?
Sure. Our site is just DasAnfall.com. There's a recruitment app right there, but probably the best way is just to talk to one of us in-game or jump in our lobby on TeamSpeak. A lot of times we don't show up because the rooms actually hide their occupants, but somebody will notice if you jump in the lobby.
All right. Once again, I want to thank both outfits for competing this evening. And I do also want to thank all of our viewers on Twitch this evening for watching. And once again, let's just go through and do a quick thank you to everybody who brought this show to you tonight. Once again, I am Deringer. I've been your host this evening. Hamma has been my co-host with me. Our casters this evening have been Torkz and Luperza. Covering all the production side was Antithasys, and covering our second camera this evening was KyMcMan. You can also check out our fantastic new website is ps2comclash.com. Once again, thanks to SteelDragon of Any Elite for his hard work on that site. You can also follow us on Twitter at ps2comclash. Next week, we have an EU match at 8 GMT between Rock Planet Shotgun and the Jesters. Get in early and watch that before the US match. And once again, US next week, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 6 Pacific. We will see Future Crew versus Total Recoil. If you'd like to take part in Community Clash or have skills that you think would benefit the team, please contact us through our website And finally, this is Deringer once again saying thank you and good night, everyone.